Poverty in America is a serious issue that has seen significant growth over the years. It's essential to understand the factors contributing to this explosive growth. Let's explore some mind-blowing facts about poverty in America to gain a deeper understanding of the situation. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Number 10. Rising poverty rates. Poverty rates in America have been a growing concern in recent years. The number of people living below the poverty line has been on the rise, indicating an alarming trend. This increase in poverty rates can be attributed to various factors such as income inequality, lack of access to quality education and healthcare, and limited job opportunities. It's important for society to address these challenges and work towards creating more equitable opportunities for everyone. Let's help the efforts to combat poverty continue to gain momentum and make a positive impact on people's lives. Number 9. Widening wealth gap. Recent emphasis has focused on America's growing wealth divide. The wealth gap is growing due to numerous causes, with the wealthiest gaining more money while many people and families struggle to make ends meet. Income disparity, when top earnings increase faster than poor earners, is a major reason. This may concentrate riches in a few, leaving others with little resources and possibilities. Another element is resource and opportunity inequality. Quality education, healthcare, and jobs differ by socioeconomic position. Lower income people may confront obstacles to financial stability and upward mobility. But wealth inequality has far-reaching effects on society. It may prolong poverty because low-income people may struggle to access resources and opportunity to better their situation. It also creates social and economic inequality since certain groups are disproportionately impacted by resource and opportunity shortages. Number 8. International comparison. The U.S. poverty rate is of worldwide relevance, and international comparison shows its position. U.S. has 17.8% poverty rate as of 2023, putting it among moderate poverty nations. This rate is based on the percentage of people living below the poverty line, a key economic indicator. The U.S. poverty rate is remarkable, but worldwide patterns must be considered. A World Bank examination of 96 nations from 2019 to 2023 shows that poverty rates in low and middle-income countries increased and decreased. The worldwide dynamics of poverty show how economic policies, social initiatives, and external shocks affect economies. Number 7. Disproportionate impact. American poverty is complicated, with some demographic groups suffering disproportionately. Numerous aggregate statistics reveal inequality. Racially and ethnically oppressed groups have historically faced economic challenges. This is shown by greater African American and Hispanic poverty rates than the national average. Race, ethnicity, and poverty emphasize systemic issues and inequality in education, employment, and healthcare. Additionally, geographical inequities exacerbate poverty. Poverty is greater in urban and rural locations owing to restricted economic prospects and social infrastructure. These differences highlight the necessity for regional economic imbalance strategies. The COVID-19 epidemic has deepened poverty by causing employment losses, healthcare issues, and education interruptions for vulnerable groups. Number 6. Cost of living challenges. American cost of living challenges people and raises issues across demographics. A 2023 state-by-state examination shows significant differences in costs, highlighting the U.S. diversified economic structure. This inequality affects affordability and economic stability. 2 out of 3 workers say the cost of living exceeds income and pay growth, according to a Bank of America poll. Gen Z agrees, with 53% citing the high cost of living as a financial hurdle. The 2023 American Compass Cost of Flourishing Index shows the decline of middle-class life in America, highlighting the cost of living crisis' larger effects. Experts predict that the cost of living issue will last until 2024, requiring aggressive financial management and resilience development at all levels. Number 5. Working but struggling. A large share of Americans struggle with poverty while being working. In 2023, Bank of America found that 67% of workers believe the cost of living is rising faster than their pay and earnings, highlighting the workforce's financial struggles. This shows that even with jobs, growing costs make it hard to stay up, causing financial distress. Additionally, the cost of living crisis hinders financial achievement, especially for young people. This shows how widespread economic issues are affecting present workers and future financial goals. American Compass's yearly Cost of Flourishing Index tracks middle-class decline, emphasizing the difficulty. This indicator shows how economic troubles despite employment affect working people and families. Number 4. Long-term effects. Poverty has a lasting influence on America, especially on child development and society. The National Longitudinal Survey of Youth identified early childhood developmental abnormalities linked to long-term poverty, which has serious ramifications for the nation's future. These deficiencies may affect schooling, cognition, and health. Poverty, especially child poverty, has far-reaching effects. Negative income tax payments have improved children's birth nutrition results, although the total effect is ambiguous. Poverty causes inferior housing, starvation, homelessness, and poor health care for young children. The effects of poverty last throughout adulthood. Children who were poor had an increased chance of obesity, smoking, and drug misuse as adults. Regarding intergenerational poverty, the effects include food insecurity, birth and developmental difficulties, dangerous living circumstances, and difficulty escaping the poverty cycle. Poverty in America has long-term repercussions on child development, health, and generational poverty. Number 3, pandemic impact. The CDO of ID-19 epidemic has profoundly influenced U.S. poverty levels, showing both good and bad patterns. Pandemic aid helped avert poverty. The expiry of these provisions has increased national poverty. 11.5% of 37.9 million people were poor in 2022, up from pre-pandemic levels. The government's pandemic response, including economic security and aid, averted a poverty spike. Pandemic relief and economic security programs lifted 53 million people out of poverty in 2020 and 2021, exceeding predictions. In 2022, these strategies were explored, which increased poverty rates. The pandemic caused a slight but statistically significant increase in the U.S. poverty rate, from 12.3% in 2019 to the current data, although financial problems, including poverty, have reverted to pre-pandemic levels despite temporary relief efforts. The pandemic has had a lasting influence on American poverty, emphasizing the need for continued economic assistance and policy to confront changing difficulties. Number 2, limited access to resource. American poverty affects many aspects of life and contributes to health inequities due to limited access to key resources. Poor health outcomes are connected to poverty, and financial and social constraints restrict an individual's capacity to access healthful resources. Poor communities typically lack access to essential resources like secure housing, healthy food, and adequate health care, hurting their quality of life and well-being. Poverty affects nutrition, housing, safety, and clean air and water, creating a circle of disadvantage and health issues. Inadequate children are prone to food insecurity, inadequate housing, and insufficient health care. Food and water shortages keep people in poverty, making it hard to escape. And tackling poverty in America is vital to detect and solve structural challenges that restrict access to resources, prolonging the cycle of disadvantage and preventing people and communities from attaining their full potential. Number 1, rural poverty. In America, rural poverty is still a chronic and complex issue with unique economic, social, and geographic components. Many rural communities struggle to find economic prospects since they have limited access to industry and well-paying employment. Rural communities now face less job prospects and unstable incomes as a result of changes to agriculture, which was formerly the backbone of their economy. In addition, the difficulties experienced by those living in rural poverty are made worse by the lack of infrastructure, healthcare, and education. The problem of geographical remoteness, making it more difficult to access opportunities and resources found in metropolitan areas, is exacerbated. Food insecurity, poor housing, and restricted access to technology are all common problems that combine with rural poverty to create a cycle of disadvantage that is difficult to escape. The aging population and lack of educational opportunities in rural areas contribute to the demographic character of these places, making it more difficult to address the underlying reasons of poverty there. In order to combat global poverty, government efforts, community-driven programs, and tailored legislation are crucial. Promoting economic diversity, boosting access to healthcare and education, building community resilience, and developing infrastructure should be the main goals of strategy. Comprehending the distinct obstacles encountered by rural communities is vital in formulating efficacious remedies that enhance these societies and provide enduring avenues for escaping poverty. In conclusion, it is evident that this is a complicated problem with many facets. The nation's high poverty rates are a result of ongoing issues that remain despite economic progress. Poverty is exacerbated by a number of factors, including structural problems including racism and discrimination, income inequality, and restricted access to good education and employment prospects. It's critical to put in place comprehensive measures including bolstering social safety nets, funding training and education, and addressing structural disparities in order to successfully address this problem. Would you prefer it if we worked together and adopted a comprehensive strategy to try to eradicate poverty and build a more just society for all? Hit the like button and subscribe to our channels for more interesting and informative videos. Thanks for watching.